Guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to talk about the little test I put this Westinghouse WGEN 11500 through. I figured we need to break it in anyway, so I decided to run it through a Cat 1 hurricane that just rode through town. Yeah, exactly. We had a Cat 1 hurricane and put it through its paces, and it performed pretty darn well. So let's go over some of the things I did, what I used for this whole hurricane outage. We basically had an outage for about 26 hours, 27 hours, I believe. And this generator performed flawlessly. So first off, we used, I used the 1-inch hose that I had. Even though it came with a 1/2 inch, what I did was I just used my existing 1-inch that I had. Then I stepped it down to a 1/2 inch right at the quick connect. And then for power wise, I just used the 50 amp. And then I used the 20 amp regular duplex outlet for my exhaust fan on the shed. And I didn't hook up my central airs, my 305 ton, because I just had those installed for warranty wise. I didn't want to mess with it. So I used a window unit at 2 refrigerators, washer dryer, vent hood, stovetop, and my lights, a couple TVs, and all my ceiling fans, and it performed flawlessly. Some of the features that, this not necessarily a Westinghouse fault, but I couldn't shut my generator shed because the hose wouldn't flex enough because of where the regulator was. So like on the 12,000 DF, the regulators turn facing 90 degrees, towards the side of the shed. And because this one faces the doors and the way the hose is, I couldn't close it. So luckily, when I put the generator out during when the eye of the storm passed through, it was calm. It wasn't really raining, it was sprinkling. So what I did was I ended up just putting a tarp over the shed and held it down with some tie down straps, and that worked fine. Let's talk about oil changes. I ran it through its paces on, let's see, I had about an hour's worth in last week when I first bought it, and then for the next first 4 hours of the storm, I only had my 2 refrigerators on it, so that was about 14 amps or so, 7 apiece. So that's well below the 50% mark on the break-in. So I ran that for about 4 more hours to the 5th hour, and I changed the oil. And then after that, I changed the oil about every 8 hours, even though it calls for every 25 hours. But I figured can't hurt. So I did, like I said, the 5th hour I changed it, then every 8 hours after that. So I did about 3 oil changes. Probably have to do 1 more before I put it away. 50 amp, perfect. No issues whatsoever, no hiccups. This generator performed a-okay. I mean, it handled everything. Okay, folks, so if you're in the market for an emergency generator, I would seriously consider this Westinghouse WGEN 11500. I think Westinghouse put in some good numbers for especially the natural gas is what I'm using it for, because guess what? I didn't have to go chase down a lick of fuel. I just hooked it up and I turned it on and I was up and running. Because, this time, like for this hurricane, there's 2 million people without power. Chasing down fuel for a generator, you just can't find it because nobody else has power to turn on to sell it. They have the gas, but they just can't sell it. So the natural gas numbers, really good levels. So if you're in the market for a generator, give this a look-see. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.